You've spent years wondering why you're doing everything right, but still feel like you're dragging a lead weight through the mud. What if I told you the exhaustion you're feeling isn't a lack of sleep, but a series of legal access points you've unknowingly granted? We aren't always battling huge, dramatic spiritual attacks. Often, we are losing ground to small habits. These are the behaviors that Christian culture has normalized, the harmless routines that feel like personality traits, but act as invisible chains. Today, we're exposing the 6 transparent tethers that keep you stuck. We call it venting about our jobs, the weather, or our finances. When you grumble, you aren't just expressing frustration. You are shifting your heart's alignment from gratitude to negativity. This mindset creates a blindness to the blessings already in your hands. Think of the Israelites. They had God's literal presence and daily bread, yet their constant grumbling kept them out of the promised land. To break this, you have to replace the grumble with a gratitude reset. Start each morning by naming 3 blessings out loud. When the urge to vent hits, stop and thank God for something immediately. Gratitude resets your spirit and clears the air for God to move. In a world of curated social media feeds, we've normalized the sin of comparison. We compare our behind the scenes to everyone else's highlight reel. The Bible warns that where envy exists, there is disorder and every evil practice. Envy isn't just wanting what others have, it's resenting their blessings and secretly hoping they fail. This is a leash because it distracts you from your specific calling. If social media triggers this, you have to limit your time or unfollow those accounts. When the sting of envy rises, bless the person you're comparing yourself to. Pray for their success. Your story is unfolding exactly as God intends. You don't need someone else's blessing. You need your own. We've become experts at normalizing polite resentment. We say, "I'm not mad. I just won't deal with them anymore." Bitterness is spiritual poison that defiles many. It keeps you stuck in the past, replaying conversations and creating invisible walls around your heart. Forgiveness isn't about how you feel. It's a legal decision to release the weight so you don't have to carry it anymore. You don't forgive because they deserve it. You forgive because you deserve freedom. We don't call them lies. We call them white lies or avoiding conflict. Small compromises damage your integrity and plant seeds of dishonesty in your spirit. Honesty brings freedom and creates a strong foundation for every other area of your life. This is the most subtle chain, the leash of self-reliance. Pride whispers, "You've got this. You don't need help." But that's the very lie that leads to spiritual burnout. When you lean only on your own understanding and your own hustle, you shut out God's supernatural help. Relying on yourself alone will always lead to exhaustion. God's power always begins where your strength ends. The solution is surrender, submitting your plans and your fears to Him rather than trying to control every outcome. He can direct your path in ways your own strength never could. Most Christians don't pray unless something is wrong, but prayer isn't a crisis hotline. It's daily communion. When you neglect prayer and the Word, you become spiritually malnourished. You lose your discernment, your peace, and your strength. The enemy doesn't need to destroy your faith. He just needs to distract you from the source of it. A prayerless Christian is a powerless Christian. Many have normalized a lifestyle where God is an afterthought rather than the center. Think of it like a branch and a vine. The branch doesn't try to make fruit, it just stays connected. If you disconnect from the charger, you start draining immediately. Set prayer checkpoints, morning, midday, and night, even for just 2 minutes to keep your spirit aligned. If you're feeling the weight of these chains today, that feeling isn't shame, it's conviction. Conviction is proof that God loves you too much to leave you the way He found you. But here is the truth nobody likes to talk about. Breaking these chains often involves holy, intentional, surgical pain. Don't mistake the pruning shears for an attack. You aren't under attack, you are under construction. God's path always starts with the blade before it brings the blessing. If you want a breakthrough that words alone can't unlock, it's time to pick up the spiritual weapon of fasting. Fasting isn't about punishing yourself. It's about replacing physical hunger with spiritual hunger. When you fast, you turn down the noise of the world to turn up the volume of God's voice. It humbles your soul and aligns your spirit to His direction. Whether it's a complete fast, water only, a partial fast like the Daniel fast, or even a media fast from distractions, you are telling God, "You are more important to me than my comfort." Fasting exposes what's hidden, the anger, the pride, the bitterness. God brings these things up not to shame you, but to heal you. As you silence your flesh, your spirit becomes sharper and more sensitive to His leading. The secret to a fruitful life isn't trying harder, it's staying closer. Jesus said, "Abide in me." Abiding means to remain, stay, and dwell. It's an ongoing relationship, not a one-time event. When you abide, you don't have to force peace or manufacture joy. They grow in you as a natural result of the connection. You stay in His Word, you walk in obedience, and you stay in constant prayer. This is how you live a life of significance rather than just success. Choosing holiness in the everyday things, how you talk, how you forgive, how you spend your time, is what brings breakthrough in the big things. The narrow road isn't always the comfortable road, but it is the only one that leads to true life. God doesn't reveal these invisible chains to condemn you. He reveals them to free you. You are not beyond change, and as you surrender these habits, He will transform your heart and guide you into purity. Which of these 6 chains has been holding you back the most? Name it in the comments. Not for us, but for yourself, because naming where you are is the first step to walking forward. If this message opened your eyes, share it with someone who needs a spiritual reset. Subscribe to God's Light TV so we can keep building your faith with biblical wisdom. Remember, the signs are in front of you and the voice is calling. This is the way. Walk in it. 6 invisible chains. How your harmless habits are starving your spirit. God reveals them to free you.